Okay, so I've had a few questions when I posted about one of my clients, Dom, on my story about him losing weight while we're increasing his calories and how we're going about the process of getting him down to around 230 pounds by increasing his calories by over 1,100, okay? So I'm gonna go over that today. I told everybody that I'd make a video on it, so this is gonna be it. I'm gonna explain to you exactly how we're going to structure this, how we're going to do it, and how we're going to make him lose approximately 70 pounds while increasing calories by 1,100 essentially, okay? So first off, Dom came to me with two problems, okay? Obviously his fitness, where he wants to get down about 70 pounds. So down 70 pounds to about 230 pounds, okay? So with that, he's been struggling for the last, actually 15 years, but for the last 7 years, he hasn't been able to get below 270. So he was 270 pounds, and at 270 pounds, he could not eat more than 2,300 calories, okay? And that, I don't know if you know this, is not very fucking good, okay? Anytime he would try to go below 270 pounds, his calories would have to go down below 2,000, okay? So less than 2,000, and he couldn't get down anymore. So essentially, it was not sustainable to him, and then he would fucking obviously go back up because he was so hungry, and then he would blow back up, and then he got back to 300 pounds. And so when he came to me, the main issue with his fitness was he is 300 pounds, eating 2,300 calories, and maintaining his weight, okay? So he's maintaining about 300 pounds at 2,300 calories. Now, he told me that he's worked with a few coaches in the past where they would either crash his calories, that's why we're here, okay? Crash his calories. They would tell him that he was not disciplined, and they would tell him that he was lying on his tracking, okay? Speaking to Dom, Dom has built a pretty substantial business, okay? Dom is a very disciplined, calculated numbers person. Everything that Dom tracks is perfect. I know this because I confirmed it, okay? This is what he was eating. The problem is, and when they were telling him he's not in a calorie deficit, yes, correct. He is not in a calorie deficit if he is not losing weight. That is absolutely 100% fucking fact. There's no way around it. However, that does not mean that when you are 300 pounds eating 2,300 calories, the solution is to drive your calories down. Because you will never ever be able to fucking sustain that at this weight or anywhere near this. Nor should you. At that body weight, especially at his age, he's over 50 years old, we shouldn't be depriving this much body weight, this person that needs to perform at high levels in business, of calories and essential fucking nutrients, okay? To have him lose what, maybe 30, 40 pounds and then not be able to lose any more, and then he's down around, I don't know, 1,700 calories maybe? Okay, that's not the solution. So when Dom came to me, he had this problem in his fitness, and then in his business, his issue was that he needed to market. He needed to go to business functions, meetings, business dinners, drinks with potential clients. So he needed to grow and market, but he couldn't because he didn't want to gain any more weight after 300 pounds, and he was only eating 2,300 calories. So if he would go out, okay, once or twice a week, and he would eat or drink, then his calories go up, his weight goes up, and he would have no room to do this. So he's avoided marketing, okay? Avoided growth because he has no room in his diet and he doesn't want to gain any more fucking weight, okay? So that was his problem with business. So the reason he came to me was so that we can fix both of these things. And this is how we're going to do that, not by crashing calories. So what we are doing right now, actually, let me give you the update. So over the last month, Dom is down to 291 pounds, and his calories are up to 2620. and he is consistently losing weight. Why? Because his body was so fucking deprived it wasn't functioning properly. Long story short, his hormones were crashed, his metabolic health was crashed, his body wasn't performing, he didn't have the energy. All of these things play a huge role in the fat loss that takes place, the weight loss that takes place. Just because it is a calories in, calories out formula, that is fucking true. I'm not saying it's not, because it is, but just because of thermodynamics doesn't mean that your body is going to continue performing after 10 to 15 years of constantly, chronically dieting and putting yourself in this deficient place where you're not even getting the essential nutrients and calories that you need. So what we're gonna do here, okay, and what we have been doing is we increase 50 to 100 calories per week, okay? So for the fitness, we're gonna go back over here. So to achieve this goal, what we're doing is we're going plus 50 to 100 calories per week, okay? And what that is doing is allowing his body, oh, and also, don't let me forget, we're training 2 times per week, and his steps averaging around 10K, all right? So 2 weight training sessions per week, 45 minutes to an hour at a time, 10,000 steps a day, and we're increasing calories here. So what is happening here, right? Because people are gonna say, well, that doesn't fucking make any sense. How is he eating more and losing weight? Because what is happening is now we are feeding his body, fueling his body properly to where it is no longer in a constant state of panic, for one, but we're feeding him the essential nutrients and calories his body needs to perform at optimal levels, as well as optimizing his blood work, optimizing his hormones, okay? So what happens when we slowly increase is that his body slowly adapts to the increase, okay? Now, usually, sometimes this part doesn't happen. Sometimes the weight loss doesn't happen. Sometimes we just stay at this weight for a while. But Dom's body needed this so bad that now that it has the extra energy and nutrients that it needs, it is performing at a higher level. So there's a few things that go into this. For one, it is basically saying, thank God you're giving me this. But 2, the more he is feeding himself now, the more energy he has to produce output, right? So even when we don't realize it, we have more energy, we're moving around a little bit more, we're taking a few extra steps, we are moving around throughout our house, we're, are bouncing our legs, whatever it is, your body is producing more energy and you're exerting more energy naturally through this calorie increase. So what we're going to do and continue to do to get him from 300 pounds to 230 pounds is continuously do this, okay? 50 to 100 calories per week, possibly per week, maybe every other week. This is where it is extremely important to monitor body weight, body composition, strength, body fat, all we need to monitor. So it is an entire process, right? You can't just continuously add calories and hope for the best. Everything has to be tracked and monitored properly so that we know when it's time to adjust and add calories. So but what we're doing is 50 to 100 calories every week to 2 weeks while maintaining this, training 2 times per week and averaging 10,000 steps per day, right? And what we want to do is keep him in this range, preferably around 290 pounds, okay? So we want him at 290 pounds. He'll probably continue losing at the rate that he's going, but we want to keep him around 290 pounds and then increase calories to 35 to 3,700. Okay, obviously this is going to take time. This is something that he understands. This is going to take time. Time is going to pass anyways. Just because it takes a decent amount of time doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. At the end of the time, you either have the results to show for what you did or you're in the same position, if not worse. So over time, we're increasing his calories, 3,500 to 3,700 to get his maintenance. So now this will be his maintenance rather than this. So essentially we're adding 12 to 1,400 calories to his maintenance to where he is now maintaining 290 pounds at 3,500 to 3,700 calories, okay? Once we're in this spot, we're in a very, very healthy place to then pull calories, create a calorie deficit from here. So obviously the initial calorie deficit from here, say we're at 3,700 calories, we can pull him down to 3,200 calories and have him losing 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds per week, if not more, depending on this up here, right? But from there, we have a ton of runway to then adjust calories down, put him in a deficit, and get him down to the 230 pounds without starving him and depriving his body of calories and nutrients, okay? This fucking works. It works every time. It just takes patience, it takes tracking, it takes adjustments, and it takes understanding of the process to make sure this happens correctly, all right? So once he's here at 37 to, we're gonna say 3,700 calories, that's what we're going with, okay? So once he's at 3,700 calories, we're gonna drop him down to 3,200, and then he's going to be losing weight. Equals fat loss. Now, 3,200 calories is still a ton of food. That is a very comfortable place, especially considering he's been eating 2,300 for the last 10 years, okay? So 3,200, even if or when we stall out at 3,200, say we gotta pull out another 400 or 500, say 500, all right? That puts us at 2,700. That is still substantially higher than this. And then that should bring us, maybe one more drop after that, but that should bring us to about the 230 pound mark, because we can also adjust steps and training, okay? One thing to remember about this isn't necessary for everybody, but it is necessary for some people. You have to understand where you're at. If you are 300 pounds, eating 2,300 calories, it doesn't make a whole lot of fucking sense to crash calories from here. You're not providing the nutrients your body needs, for one, to perform at optimal levels. But do you really think eating 1,700 calories at 250 plus pounds is gonna be sustainable long-term? No, it is not. So if you're in a position like this and you've tried to diet, you can't lose weight, or you have lost weight, but in such a non-sustainable way that you blow back up every time, it might be time to do a proper reverse diet from this place. You don't have to be 10% body fat to initiate a reverse diet, okay, and increase your metabolic rate, especially if you're in a place of metabolic deterioration, really. So that is how we're going to structure this, okay, to get him down in his weight loss, right? We're gonna bring his maintenance calories up so that he's maintaining this weight. And like I said, he'll probably continue to drop for quite a while. But we're gonna bring his maintenance calories up to where he's maintaining somewhere, I'd say probably between 270 and 290 pounds. And then we're gonna pull calories out after his maintenance is at a very healthy, high level. And we're gonna get him down to the 230 pounds lean and healthy. And then he's gonna have a ton of room, because at that point we're gonna reverse diet him again. Then he's gonna have a ton of room to focus on this. Now, this is the other side of things. If you're a business owner and you have to grow your business by networking with people, because that is a thing, part of that is going out to dinners, going out to drinks, doing the things. So what we're doing here now, on this side of things, is while he's in this state still, while we're still growing, while we're still increasing calories, what we're doing is we're going into the dinners and the travel with a plan. Okay? And what that plan is we structure his daytime, his meals, so his daily calories will be lower, and we're gonna leave him about 1,000 calories for dinner. Okay? So right now, while we're in this state, while we're still increasing his calories, trying to get him to a healthy place right here, we're going to structure it this way, where it's still calculated, it is still tracked, everything is still on point, but we're allowing him enough room to go out and do these things and enjoy these things without having to stress a whole bunch off of lack of progress. Now, the other aspect of this is not allowing something like this to knock you completely off track, right? Which is obviously where I come in. This is why he hired me, to help him navigate this, but also when he goes and does these things, we get him right back on track the next day. We make sure that obviously he has a ton of fucking discipline. He's built a massive company. He's fucking done this for the last 10 years, even while he's not losing weight. He shows up every day. He logs everything. Obviously, he has a ton of discipline. Now we're reframing this in a way where part of that discipline is adding in these things, because obviously we want to continue growing business as well. Okay? Now, this is how we're going to structure this right now. Okay? Once we get him down to 230 pounds and have his maintenance calories somewhere in this ballpark, he's essentially going to be able to pick and choose whatever he wants to do. This is when things become very easy, because he's no longer going to have to really calculate this shit. He's no longer going to have to stress off of it. He's going to be able to go out, grow his business, network, market, have the dinners multiple times a week if he wants to, go out for drinks with clients if he needs to, and still stay on track. Still be where he wants to be, still be healthy, okay? One thing that you have to remember is that fitness is a performance-enhancing drug. Obviously, we optimize performance in fitness, but fitness optimizes performance in our business as well. If you're a business owner, this should be a massive, massive priority to you because of how much it optimizes our business. It is 100% fact that is the case, okay? Now, obviously, this doesn't apply to everybody, but if this is your situation, right? And like I said, you haven't been able to figure this out. You're actually tracking. You've been dieting. You've been doing all the things, and you can't get to your fucking goal weight. Stop trying to crash calories. Do not crash. Don't do it. Stop doing it. Obviously, this method is going to take more time. It's going to take more time, but it's actually going to work. You're actually going to be able to make it happen and then sustain it long term, because reality is, say you do cut from 2,300 at 300 pounds and you do get to your goal of 23 or 230 pounds. What fucking good is that if you go straight back to 300 as soon as you start eating again? Because it's so insustainable that you can't keep it going. The goal of this, especially if you're older, especially if you have high stakes like a fucking business or big responsibilities, it is extremely, extremely important to do this the right way. It is extremely important to optimize this, to make sure that we're optimizing performance, we're optimizing lifestyle, we're optimizing all of these things that actually matter so that we can continue performing at high levels everywhere else. That is extremely fucking important, okay? So, again, if you want to do this method, it is going to take time, okay? You need to slowly do this. You need to monitor. You need to track everything. All of your calories, all of your macros, your body weight every day, your trends week by week, your training, your steps, everything has to be tracked and pinpointed. And then you have to adjust calories when it makes sense. And you continuously do that while either maintaining or losing weight until you get to a point where it is extremely comfortable or almost even uncomfortable because you're eating so much food, right? That you're good with pulling calories out now. And then you pull them out, you're still at a way higher place. Like, look at this. Where we're gonna start his cut, his fat loss phase, is fucking 900 calories. This is gonna be his deficit. 3,200 is gonna be his deficit. That's 900 calories higher than his maintenance, than his original maintenance calories. That's how you do this. Obviously, this is gonna take time. This might take 6 months to a year. The time's gonna pass anyways. So you can continue yo-yo dieting, you can continue bouncing back and forth, you can continue losing weight, gaining it all back, losing it, gaining it all back. You can continue being miserable on this side of things, having no social life, and just being a fucking hermit. Or you can take the extra time, you can put in the extra effort, you can track everything to another level, do it the right way, and then live sustainably after that with the results that you have. And then you're even in a better spot, because say we get him down to 230 pounds and then we reverse diet him back to, I don't know, 32 to 3,700, wherever he wants to go. For one, we can get him super fucking strong and lean, but two, say he wants to cut down to 200 pounds after that. You know how easy it's gonna be to cut down to 200 pounds when his maintenance calories at 3,500? Pretty fucking easy, okay? I've done this with quite a few people. This is tried and fucking true. Whether science fucking backs it up or not, I don't really care. This is a tried and true method, and if you don't believe it, that's fine. Don't do it then. Fuck it, don't do it. But if you have tried everything and you haven't been able to fucking figure it out, this might be your fucking solution. This might be the solution. So give it a shot. If you need help with it, rewatch this video, take notes. Hit me up on Instagram if you really want help. I have quite a few other videos on YouTube that might help you out as well. So think about it, look into it, rewatch, take notes, whatever you gotta do. But remember, fitness is a performing enhancing drug for life, for business, for everything else that we have to do in life. Prioritize it properly, okay? It's not always about just crashing, losing weight as fast as possible. Do this in a way that is sustainable for your life, your lifestyle, and you can continue on long term, all right? Again, need any help, feel free to hit me up. Check out all my other videos. Check out my Instagram at GrayLineFitness. Whatever you need, I got you, man.